Jules stated in his work, A Room with a Green View, that, quote, "The emotional importance of the nature of the view from our window is only just being properly understood." I ask, why look through a window when all one must do to understand nature is to venture through that window and out into actual nature? The only reason someone would not understand nature would be because they do not live in it, experience it, or appreciate it. Many of the papers that we have read in class have stated in more than one way that it is our modern way of life that is dissociating us from nature. The window that Jules spoke so highly of is not what keeps us connected with nature, but what separates us from it. As the months passed, and I returned to my nook time after time, I began to see changes in my surroundings. The temperature started to rise, and the wind with it. The birds started to emerge: brown-headed nuthatches, crows, blue jays, wood thrushes, robins, and many others. I recorded their calls to determine which ones I heard, and as I was listening to all the different calls just from that one 10-foot space, it made me think, what if all the birds had the same call? It made me think of how tragic it would be if we lost all the different languages of our own species. If all the birds had the same call, would our lives still be as interesting and as meaningful with only one note to listen to? If humans lost their different languages, their different ways of looking and describing things, would we not lose our ability to evolve into a more knowledgeable, diverse, and adaptive species? The Carolina anole lizard I spotted and managed to snap a picture of also gave me some thought about topics discussed in class. I researched it and found out its scientific name was Anolis carolinensis, which described the species perfectly. It is an anole that is found predominantly in the Carolinas. I think that scientific names are very useful, whether they are distinguishing physical characteristics or defining geographic distribution. They are a necessity to identification. These scientific names have been used for centuries for a reason, not to confuse students of biology, but to help them. You need only to look at an animal's scientific name to discover its defining characteristics, and that name will be recognized by others across the world where a common name may not. As the temperature rose still higher, the rain started, and that brought about a shift in the plants. First, the privet started to grow taller, reaching heights high above my head. Then the trees started to send out their shoots. 1 or 2 trees at first, but the rest soon followed over the next weeks. When I came at night, southern chorus frogs sang their songs of love from a nearby ravine filled with water. It is the middle of mating season for them, and soon mother frogs will be laying their eggs in shallow water collected at the bottom of the trench. Even though I know that surrounding this small patch of wilderness is man-made development, here in this place, wildness continued to thrive. The last visit I took showed some of the plants flowering. The privets were now a bright and vibrant color, their white flowers looking even more striking against the vivid green. All of the surrounding trees had crowns full of leaves, and new shoots from the understory were creeping up. It was beautiful to see the transformation from that first gloomy day I came into the area with frost and no life, to the last day when everything was exploding with green. All this I witnessed just from walking a couple of feet past the fence in a park. Think about what wonders you could observe, what understanding you could gain if you just took the time to find out what lies beyond your own fence.